All right, now that our block work is done, finally, it took a few days extra, but there was a lot of block. So there's 1,100 block here. As you can see, all done. Now it's time to finish up our mud seal. So before we do that, we got to run some of this blue foam. This is called seal sealer. We put that down. You can see it kind of goes through the J bolts. Once that goes down, we take some treated 2x8 on top of this 8-inch block, bolt it down, and that's what everything gets attached to. So let's finish that up. All right, so when I'm ready to put the mud seal on, instead of taking my measuring tape and measuring every time there's a J-bolt, I like to sit the piece of what I'm going to use up on here and put a mark right in the center where the J-bolt is. From there, I can measure from the outside of the block wall, because that's where you want to measure from, to the center of the J-bolt, and that'll give you where you need to drill inside your mud seal. Framing a house, you want to have your plans readily available, just so you could always have something to reference. Just because you have your block up doesn't mean it's perfect. Just because you laid out your footers just so doesn't mean that everything came out just right according to the plans. So always refer back to your plans. All right, so our mud seal is completely finished. Posts and beams, that's what's next. All these footers with these post base on, I've got to measure off the top of our mud seal. So what I'll do is measure exactly where I need my beams to be, which is 13 feet off of each edge of the house. And I will put a string across from one mud sill to the next, and I'll measure up to it. Strings don't lie. Lasers don't lie, usually. At least I hope not. All right, so I've measured from both sides. I've put a mark and a screw to hold my string. So all I've got to do is string it across and find the level from one mud sill to the next. a pretty exciting day ahead of us. We get to finish our floor framing. And I get to work with my son. Say hey, Elijah.
Hey.
So today we are going to finish this up. We have already got started, as you can see. We are running our joists 16 on center. And that's just so that we can keep this floor from bouncing. It's just a lot better that way. Okay, we've got the first two sections of our floor joist done over here. But before we get started in this third section, the last section of floor joists, we need to have crawl space access. We chose not to put access through the outside of the block or the foundation wall. So we're gonna have access through the floor in one of the bedrooms. So what I've done here is I've marked out where my closet is on my sill plate. Coming off, I looked at the plans, and so right here and right here is where some walls come in. The closet will be off here, and I know inside my closet, according to the plans, I have 52.5 inches, and I want to center my crawl space access in that. So the center of my crawl space access off of this wall minus 3.5 inches, actually plus 3.5 inches, would be 26.25, and then I'm going to make my crawl space access 24 inches by 32 inches. The minimum here to go through the floor is 18 by 24. I don't feel like that's enough space, so we're going 32 by 24, and that's because we've spaced our floor joist 16 on center. So if I take one out, it gives me 32 inches. There you go. All right, we are putting the floor down, the subfloor. We've decided to go ahead and use Advantech 3/4 inch. It's got some water resistance, so if it's out here in the weather, it's not going to swell on us. It's not going to create just this big, wavy, crooked mess at the end when we go to put our floor down. It should be nice and flat, nice and level. If we have to take a little sander to each edge a little bit, that's okay. I've used other products in the past and have experienced some really bad subfloors, and Advantech is not one of them. So that's what we're gonna do. We're about halfway through here, and we are using our Milwaukee cordless framing nailer. That thing is a beast. If you are on the fence about buying something that's not pneumatic, so you don't have to have air, Milwaukee nail guns is the way to go. We've tried a few other ones and not really impressed, but Milwaukee, good stuff. So let's get this thing finished and start laying out our walls. Give me a thumbs up, woman. All right, that is a wrap for the floor framing. We got the entire subfloor on, everything shot off. Thanks for watching this episode and continue to follow us through this whole entire journey. Thanks.